Hello everybody and welcome to Writer's Workshop from Home, where you can use all the cool things in your house to really get creative with your stories. So before we jump into today's lesson, I want you to make sure that you have some things. First thing you need is a pencil. This is your magic wand to get these thoughts onto paper. So make sure it's a pencil, not a pen. So you have this eraser to change things whenever you keep going. Now, the next thing you need on top of a pencil is some paper. Now, I know that we have some different paper at school than we do at home, and that's okay. It's up to you to get really creative. You can either use the notebook paper or any paper you have, or you can do what I did, and I just drew some lines to kind of make it look like the ones I have from school. It's entirely up to you. Once you have these two things, you're ready to go. Let's hop in today's lesson, how to write a small moment story. So what exactly is a small moment story? A small moment story is a true story about you. So something either you do or something that happened to you. This is the very first step in the writing process, thinking of an idea. So in order to think of an idea, I want you to think of exactly what you do. What is something you're really good at, or what is something that happened to you? Now, a small moment story can happen at any point of the day. So it could have happened earlier this morning, could have happened last week, it could have happened 3 weeks ago when we were still in March or right before spring break. It's all up to you. Now, once you have your idea, you've pulled that idea out of your head, now it's time to plan. Now, in a story just like our read-alouds, it has 3 parts, a beginning, a middle, and an end. So your story has to be the same. Now, when you're planning, you can do this a number of ways. The first way is to touch and tell. Touching and telling means you get your piece of paper and you start thinking, what am I gonna put on this page? Now, if you've noticed, I haven't picked up my pencil yet because this is all still happening here. So I'm gonna touch and tell this page. Probably gonna introduce who was there and where I was here. I'm probably going to tell you guys what happened, the big thing that happened on this page. And I'm gonna tell you how it ended on this page. Another thing you can do, now this one's for my artists out there, go ahead and sketch a picture of what happened for each page. So then as you're writing, you can go ahead and write down what's happening in the picture. That's one way you can do it. Now, once you've taken that idea and you've planned it out, it's time to put this idea to paper. Grab out your magic wand, it's time to write. Now, when you're writing, you want to make sure that you try and write at least 3 pages. One for your beginning, one for your middle, and one for your end. I have a question. Yes? Can I write more than 3 pages? Absolutely, you can. You can write 4 pages, 5 pages, whatever you need to create your story. But make sure it's at least 3. That's our magic number for today. Now, once you've written your story, it is time to revise and edit. Now, what that means is you're going to be adding detail to pictures and words. So, a few things you can do. First thing is go and actually just reread it to yourself. Reread each word, make sure that you didn't miss a word or if a word is misspelled. Then, once you've reread it, you can go and add details to your picture, or you can add details to your words. For example, if I was talking about the time we had that snowstorm and it was really cold outside, I might switch the word cold to freezing. That really tells the reader that, oh my gosh, that was so cold. After you've revised and edit comes the fun part, the publishing. Now, whenever an author has a story, they publish a book. I'm gonna use the Rainbow Fish as an example. Let's take a look at this front cover. Is it just a plain white cover with nothing on it? Of course not. It has all these beautiful colors and it has a really nice title and it has the author's name. It's up to you to do the same. Once you've written your story, take a blank piece of paper, put it on top, and then write down a title, write down your name, and draw a picture about what your story's about. So it's like your own little book. Now, once you're done publishing comes the fun part, time to share with the world your amazing creation. So authors love to share their books. So since you worked so hard on this, I want you to share it with the world. Share it with your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your brother, your sister, grandma, anybody. You can give them a call and share it. You can FaceTime them and share it, or you can just maybe even share it with a pet. Share your work and then put it safely to the side. Now, we've talked in our class that there's a certain word that does not exist anymore. We had a funeral and everything, the word done. Even at home, done is dead. If you are completed and published with a story and you've shared it, your next step, time to think of a new idea, create a new story, and you start the process all over again. So let's put this process to the test. So now it's time to think of an idea, my step number 1. So I have to sit and think, what have I done today? Or what did I do earlier this week? Well, I know you guys remember my dog Dilly. Well, she ate my breakfast a long time ago. I made a delicious breakfast sandwich, and then I walked away for like 2 seconds and I come back and it's not there anymore. And I was like, what? I think I've had my idea. So my next step, step 2, time to plan. So I have my pieces of paper here, and now it's time for me to plan out what am I going to say. Well, on this first page, I want to tell you guys where I was at. I was in the kitchen and I had just made my breakfast sandwich, and Dilly, since she's a big part of my story, Dilly was sitting in her bed across the room. So here I think that I'm gonna talk about where I was and who was there, me and Dilly. This middle page, I want to make it suspenseful, so I'm gonna say that I walked away for a little bit and then I came back and my breakfast was gone. And then this last page, I'm gonna say that I looked over at Dilly and she was licking her lips and there were bits of egg on the floor, and I could tell she's the one who ate my sandwich. But I love her anyway. I just made myself a new one. So I have just thought of my idea and I split it into 3 parts, my beginning, middle, and end. Now, if I really wanted to get into it, I would go ahead and sketch out. So I'm gonna sketch out really, really quick and then we can keep going. All right, guys, so I'm back and I went ahead and sketched my pages. The very first page, I drew a picture of myself, my beautiful hot breakfast, and there's my dog Dilly eyeing it from afar. And I'm walking away. Next, I come back and my breakfast is gone. No Dilly in sight, no egg sandwich in sight. But then I found out who did it. It was Dilly because of all the little crumbs she left, and that was okay. So I've sketched out my pages. I went ahead and planned. Next, it's time to write. And I'm gonna go ahead and insert some movie magic here, a little bit of montage writing now. Okay, I'm back from writing. I was on step 3. I wrote my story. So let me read it to you guys really, really fast. One morning, I made myself breakfast in the kitchen. My dog Dilly was laying in her bed. I realized I forgot my bag upstairs and went to go get it. When I came back, it was gone. I was so sad. I looked around for clues. On the floor, I saw Dilly with egg on her face. Dilly must have eaten my sandwich. At first, I was mad, but then I decided to make another one. I had caught my breakfast bandit. So, after writing my story, I'm not quite done yet. I still have step number 4, revise and edit. So, next is my job is to find someone, read them my story. If there isn't anyone there, I'm gonna go ahead and reread it, which I kind of did with you guys there. So next, I'm gonna look and see if I can add detail to my pictures or my words. I'm gonna just take one page. Let's take a look at my picture. Well, I can tell there's a table here, but I said I was in the kitchen. So what other things are in the kitchen? I bet that there's a refrigerator, a stove, maybe a microwave, maybe other pots and pans or a sink, so I can add that here. Another thing I can do is add detail to my words. For example, on my second page, I said, I was so sad. Instead of sad, I can change that sad into something else. Maybe I can do a show not tell and use a craft move. I could say, instead of I was so sad, a big frown showed up on my face. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I've added a few more words. Instead of saying sad, I said a frown appeared on my face. Okay, so I've revised and edited some of my work. I'm gonna make sure they're in a proper order. Next comes the fun part. It's time to publish. So publishing means that you add a front cover with a nice title and your name. So I was thinking, what could I name this? I could just say something like The Time Dilly Ate My Breakfast, but that doesn't sound as fun. I was looking at other titles of books and they have really cool titles, so I want to come up with one too. So I came up with The Breakfast Bandit, because that's what she was. A bandit is someone who takes something of yours, and she took my breakfast. So as you can see, I went ahead and added a title, I put an illustration, and then I put my name at the bottom. Now, once you've done that, you can go and then staple, and you've created yourself a little book. And you are ready for the final and most fun step ever, to share. So I can share this with you, I can call a family member and share it with them, or I could read it to Callan for a bedtime story. This is so special because it came from you, okay? So that is the writing process. What I want you to do is come up with a story all on your own this week, and then show me a video of you showing me your front cover and then reading through the story, okay? I'm really excited to read these. This has been learning about the writing process. I will see you guys in the next video.